I was born with a secret into a musical family. My father, who was one of 11 children, was the vocalist in his family, of which 8 were musicians. I was proud to be the son of Clovice Lewis Sr., known in the Air Force as the Singing Sergeant. I thought everybody's dad had a band. I learned early on that rubber bands could be stretched and contracted to make different pitches. I thought I discovered that. I was so fascinated by that, I constructed and experimented with many oatmeal box instruments. When I was 13 years old, I decided to play the bass. I went into the orchestra room in my junior high school in Abilene, Texas, and told that to Mr. Bell, the teacher. He took me to the room where cellos and basses were stored and suggested that I play the smaller bass called the cello until I grew tall enough to play the big bass. I thought that was a good idea. 3 weeks after that first electric moment touching the cello, I had composed my first piece of music for voice, flute, and cello. 6 weeks later, I was in the A orchestra. 6 months later, I was winning solo competitions in the advanced performance categories for West Texas. And people were astonished at my progress as a cellist, but they were more astonished at the music I was composing. I thought that was odd. I would tell people, well, you don't just read words, you also write. Isn't there music in your head you want to write on paper? I would ask. Apparently not. And that was when I discovered the secret that I had always composed music. I always deeply understood its structure. I could always play multiple melodies in my head, forwards and backwards simultaneously, like a multi-track digital recorder. And I realized there was no difference between music and me. But until I learned how to put notes on paper, I couldn't transmit the music that was in my mind. When the movie called The Poseidon Adventure came out, I thought the theme song was the most beautiful music I'd ever heard. So, of course, I transcribed the entire score, note for note, for the entire orchestra by listening to it on a phonograph record. By the time I was 17, I had composed my first symphony. Then I went to college and received a composition degree and started teaching at the University of California in Santa Barbara as an associate professor of computer music when I was 22 years old. Skip many years of composing in isolation, playing in orchestras, and carving out a career as a serial entrepreneur in high technology. For a long time, I would compose symphonic works and stick them in a drawer. It took me some time to understand that music is not something I do only as a spiritual practice. It must be shared. It doesn't truly exist until it is performed and listened to by other human beings. To perform the music that I compose, I need to collaborate with many others to conduct it and perform it on instruments. But I've been lucky in my life to join the tribe of artists who call themselves musicians. We all depend upon each other. We grow, we explore, we create, and we love. Creativity is our religion, and music is our spiritual practice. I learned a long time ago that I am not special. I just do something other people don't do in a special way. Everyone has unique gifts. Everyone can be an artist of life. For me and my tribe of musicians, the collaboration and relationships used to create the sonic beauty that exists in all of our minds truly makes the world a better place.